Hi there, and welcome to another update for the PACA Daily Circus. I'm your host, davidinark. We're going to take a look at things going on around the Fantasy League and with the giveaway program. Let's start with the PACA Daily Circus League. In news, we've got Mike Moustakis, who has been out. He's been examined by team doctors yesterday for the Cobb County Super Chickens. He was told that his rehabilitation time is going to be increased to 4 weeks because he still had some pain and soreness. The medical staff did not want to activate him until he's totally healthy. Moustakis is recovering from a strained quad that I believe we discussed in the last episode here. Ron Smith on the Stealing Home team suffered a setback in his recovery from a forearm strain. The starting pitcher is now projected to miss at least 1 to 2 weeks. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on this, I believe Ron Smith is actually a fictional character. For those of you playing catch-up, what I did was filled out the teams with fictional characters in order to fill out their rosters. Those fictional characters will fade away, or hopefully fade away, as we reveal more and more actual players from packs that we break that are revealed on cards. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, Ron Smith, whether he's real or not in this game, is out for the Stealing Homes. Now, one of the craziest games has to be the Saitama Sushi and Dominic FDNY. The Sushi absolutely destroyed FDNY 16-0. Now they've got Linscomb on their team, and he blew them out of the water. Now, in that same game, what helped propel the Sushi to a 16-0 win is Josh Hamilton. He went 5 hits at 6 at-bats. I mean, that's just crazy. He singled in the second, he struck out in the fourth, singled in the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, and then doubled in the ninth just for good measure to put a little exclamation point on the day that he had. That is absolutely amazing. Speaking of wins and losses, let's get over to the standings here. We've got 2 teams that are still absolutely undefeated in the league. And those are Alex All-Stars and Stealing Home, and they happen to both be in the Punto Obelesco division over in the Uptown Funk League. So 2 teams in the same division duking it out for first place. That's cool. That's going to be an interesting thing to watch throughout the rest of the season. The other side of the coin, of course, is we have teams that have yet to even win a game, and we've got 2 of those. Over in the Leicester division in Uptown Funk, we've got the Thorzels. Thorzels have yet to find a way to make their team mesh. Hopefully that'll develop as the season goes. And then over in the Downtown Groove League, in the Oxford Circus division, we have the Pennsylvania BCs, and they have yet to come away with a win. So both of those teams are sitting 3 games out of the lead in their respective division. It's still way early in the season. We'll see how things come about. I do want to mention that the Arkansas Tribe Cards, that's my team, we happen to be in first place in the Bakerloo division. We are only a half game ahead of the Bo Rosneys, GCRLs, and the Saitama Sushi. Those guys are all tied for second in that division. Things are crazy. In fact, we've got a lot of teams that are sharing positions, sharing rankings within the different leagues. So I'll be sure to get this posted up and give you an update as to what's happening in the league. So you guys can go out to tribecards.net and you'll be able to view the standings in a little bit here. In the meantime, we've been busting out a lot of packs, a lot of wax. One of the packs that I bought the other day were the Donruss, the new 2015 Donruss cards by Panini, and this is one of the cards, Chris Bryant. That's a Donruss Elite redo there. Very cool. I happen to be a big fan of the new Donruss cards. I'm generally not a fan of the whole retro thing. I think it's been pretty well played out. But seeing Donruss kind of in the way that I remember Donruss growing up, I was a kid when Donruss first came on the market, Donruss and Fleer, and they just, they were so new and so different. So it's very cool to see cards that were under that brand over the years come back again, make a showing. So that's kind of cool. One of the other sets, I guess, that we have, these came by way of Hot Corner Cards. He sent a whole box of packs, and now they were packs that he had opened up. He pulled out some of the cards he wanted, put them back in the pack, and shipped a whole box to us. And then in there also were a bunch of Cleveland Indians cards for my personal collection, which I appreciate immensely. That is awesome. Anytime I get Indians cards, I'm thrilled. I don't care if I have them, don't have them. I'm excited to be busting open Indians wax. That's just the way I am. So, but in there were a stack of these Panini Cooperstown cards. And so I took the Cooperstown, and we're going to actually have those in the next draft. Not the one coming up, but the one after that. This one happens to be Juan Marichal. And, so there were several, probably a half a dozen or so, these Cooperstown cards, and so they are going to be in the draft. So managers, get ready. You'll see them coming up. And then also was a pack of these triple play. Boop, there we go. I don't know where the camera is. The triple play cards with these crazy, stickers, and I call them cards. That's loosely defined. They have all kinds of, eye black and all that stuff. You guys are familiar with that if you're following along anyway. So, but lots of cool stuff that we've already opened up. Lots of cool things to come. I did want to go ahead and, since I was talking about the Donruss, if you've not seen the Donruss 2015, here you go. Very much the throwback. So very cool. I do think those are neat cards. Sorry, got distracted by cardboard. Can you imagine? But not a lot of other updates in terms of the actual program. We are trucking along. We'll have our first. Is it our first? I don't know. Anyway, we'll have the draft coming up on the 18th, and that will have a whole bunch of players in there. And the way that I'm working drafts, any players who are not drafted, anybody who goes left untouched, they will roll into the next draft if there is anybody. I think I mentioned last time we had about 60 cards, 60 players who were up for grabs in the upcoming draft, and the managers are allowed to choose 20 of those. So hopefully things can get moved around. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. One of the things that I'm going to do is I am working out a no skunk system. Essentially, there aren't enough weeks in a baseball season to where everybody gets a guaranteed first pick. But what I'm going to do is take all the managers' names. I'm going to pair them up. They will be randomized, and then each pair will have a guaranteed first or second round pick for their week. So I think that'll help. That should cut down on again some of the skunking that happens where folks pick their players and they don't, because of the randomization of the manager draft order, they don't end up with anybody and often, and it's not fair. Basically, there's not really a fair way to do it, to be blunt, but to me, I think this is probably going to be the most fair. So we're going to have a no skunk system, and don't worry, managers, I'll email you. We'll explain it all. I'll have a post up on tribecards.net when I get all that finalized, and we'll go from there. Speaking of, if you've not stopped by, I'm doing a series of posts on the Indians cards that Hot Corner Cards sent me, because there are, tons of cards here. That's just one stack, and then here's the other stack, and I think there's actually even more that I had set up on my other. I've got a shelf where I keep some of my Indians cards that have yet to go into my database system, and I set some of those up there. There were lots of cards. Very cool, and I appreciate it. That is awesome. All right, I am going to head on out of here. Hope to see you over at tribecards.net, and thanks for tuning in. Have a good week.